All the tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG doggy.
Hello, and welcome back to Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk. I am Russ, aka Morris, or Morris, aka Russ. And with me this week is
PJ Coffee from the Southampton Guild of Roleplayers. Joining us also today, we have the amazing, the one, the only, the truly unique Jess Hancock.
Yes, it is me, Jess Hancock from EN Publishing. I am also here.
Why, hello, Jess Hancock from EN Publishing.
Hello, Morris from EN Publishing and EN World.
Also from EN Publishing.
Yes. I'm from Southampton Guild of Roleplayers and also Homebrew and Hacking. Interesting. There's a lot of hidden identities coming out today.
Yes.
So, or not so hidden, as the case may be.
The big logo in the corner does help, yes.
Yeah, so we are streaming live again. We stream live on Fridays at 2 p.m. UK time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, I believe.
And you are correct in your belief.
It's an excellent belief. And as normal, it goes out later on the podcast for those who prefer to have the audio version. But just so you know where to find us every week, you can join us, you can join in the chat, you can ask us questions, we'll even flash the questions up on screen. It's very exciting. Hello, Dave. See, there we go. There's an example of one. Dave Rotter saying hello. Right, anyway, shall we dive into some news? Because it's been a bit of a week. Bit of a week for us. A bit of a quiet week, kind of, news-wise.
Where shall we start? Do you want to start with talking about the Gith Yankee or the Gith Sarai or the Gith in general?
We can do that.
Yes.
We can start with Githy stuff.
A nice picture of the Gith. I love the Gith. I love their culture. I think I love their cult-like nature. I think they're just great.
Okay.
Invented by a chap called Charles Stross, who is also an extremely well-regarded UK publisher. Not publisher, writer. Publisher. Yeah, there you go.
Laundry, is that correct?
Yes, the Laundry RPG, and also Merchant Princes, and a bunch of other stuff, including some hard sci-fi. Hard sci-fi.
So anyway, the Gith, being the Gith Yankee and the Gith Zerai, they used to be humanoids, but now they are not humanoids.
Right, pretty humanoid to me.
They're aberrations, I'll have you know.
Yes, they're classified as such now.
Weird.
They are no longer humanoids. Along with, as we mentioned, I think it was last week, things like goblins and various other sort of critters were being redesignated from humanoids to fae and monstrosities and aberrations and things. The hold person spell, I think, is being renamed hold nobody.
Yeah, because there's not enough. Yeah.
Well played.
But yes, the two Gith species, they live in the astral plane and limbo. They are no longer humanoids. Apparently, according to F. Wesley Schneider of Wizards of the Coast, this is because of the Illithids' role in manipulating the Gith, which is why they're not humanoids.
And also, they've lived in the astral plane and limbo so long that changes person.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's goblins, kobolds, and kenku are all no longer humanoids.
Kenku as well.
Kenku as well.
What are kenku?
Bird creatures that can't speak; they can only mimic sounds they've heard through.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, what are they? Sorry, I mean, what are they?
I'm going.
What are they classified as? I know what kenku is. I've met Jonathan. I know.
I guess they'll either be aberrations or monstrosities, but I don't know offhand.
And this is, of course, all falling out from the new monster manual that's coming out next month on the 18th of Feb, just for context.
So as, like, player species, I mean, at the moment, there isn't a 2024 version of those as player species. So if you wanted to make a goblin or a kenku character, you'd have to use the 2014 version. which is still a humanoid. It hasn't been updated in the player species end of things, only in the monster manual end of things. So I don't know how that's going to translate, whether they're going to remake them in 2024 in a future book for players. I don't know.
I couldn't be able to tell you.
I don't know. Some new version of Ashes or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean that's it. That's the news. That's all there is to say about that.
I mean, I'll take this as the opportunity to say that to mention Baldur's Gate 3 and say I love playing the Gith in Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm glad they were included because I think the nuances of their culture was brought out really well in that game. Anyway, there's my way to shoehorn Baldur's Gate 3 into this week.
You like Baldur's Gate 3?
I do, and the three of us have agreed to play it sometime.
Why have I never picked up on this?
I know.
I knew. The signs were there. They were there. Yeah.
Do you know what? I've played so much this week because my partner was away for work. So that meant I've had no responsibility to like hang out with another person. So I was like, I could just play Baldur's Gate whenever I'm not working.
Yes.
And that is what I have done.
Screwed up in the corner of a room in the darkness, hunched over a computer.
I have a lamp on. I'm not a monster. But yeah.
Not the big light, absolutely.
No, not the big light.
Yes.
Still neurodivergent. Come on. Anyway, what other news have we got other than the Gith? I thought there would be more information about the Monster Manual this week because we're still in that kind of PR place.
Well, there was actually a video that went out, literally like either late yesterday or early today, which was about the Feywild, I believe, which I haven't seen because it's so recent and I've been rushed off my feet. So I literally haven't seen it. I just know it's out there. So there is information out there about the Fey and the Feywild.
Well, how about we watch that and talk about it next week then? Because I also haven't seen it.
I think that's the best idea.
Okay. More about the Feywild next week. Yeah. I also like the Feywild because I love that you can have interesting characters because Fey morality can be very different than human morality and you can have some weirdness going on in your campaigns that way.
And it can be fickle.
It can be fickle. But so can humans. So
yes, humans can definitely be fickle.
I think it seems a bit harsh to blame the Fey for that sort of thing. A bit Fey shaming.
Well, no, not shaming. I was just saying that because they have different ideas of right and wrong in the same way that in human cultures we have different concepts of what is and isn't rude. So they're not trying to be mean or nasty. They're just doing their thing.
Some of them are.
Oh yeah, but some people are trying to be nasty as well. Like, you know, hashtag not all Fey.
They asked nicely, may I take your name? And then he gave it to them. So after that, it was a present.
Yeah. I wish I could remember what it was.
Yeah. Well,
we've had some good news this week, and we've had some terrible news.
Let's start with the good news. Let's start happy. Let's start with good stuff.
Yeah. There was a very interesting compilation of RPGs that came out called Griot.
Griot Anthology, yeah?
Yes, Griot Anthology from Thought Crime Games. The name Griot is a West African term meaning storyteller, and it's someone who is basically in charge of the oral tradition, which is basically like sort of a law keeper for your society, keep track of what's going on and so forth. So quite important people, rather more than like your like comedy bards, like very important people within the society. And the reason that is relevant is because it is a zine of micro TTRPGs and micro settings from Black TTRPG creators.
Cool.
I thought that was pretty good. I've heard of it because Quinn Murphy is one of the people working on it, and also Misha Bushjager, who, if memory serves, is a sensitivity reader for Wizards of the Coast from time to time.
And we can find that on itch.
Yes, itch.io.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, cool. This looks like so you pre-order it now, and then it's funding initial development ahead of they're going to do a big official crowdfunding campaign in February.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so far they're promising intergalactic black ballroom intrigue and dancing, neighborhood-owned mechs that protect the community, black superheroes fighting Nazis, and playing as spirits who haunt colonizers in the Virgin Islands.
Well, we need more people fighting Nazis, so I'm going to pre-order that now. Pre-ordering on the show.
Ooh, just had someone make a comment there. Sulicius said, I hope the spam situation is dealt with. What that is referring to is overnight EN World was hit by, and I don't want to say it was a DDoS attack, because I've got no way of knowing that, but it's got the hallmarks of one. Thousands and thousands of spam accounts started registering accounts and posting spam all over the forums, drowning out any actual conversation. And so when I woke up this morning, it was just they were all there and they were still registering and posting stuff at a rate of like 1 per second.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. So what I did was I stopped new registrations on the forums. I deleted all new accounts that had been made in the last 10 days. So I'm really sorry if you made a genuine one, 10 days, 10 hours. If you made a genuine one in the last 10 hours, I'm really sorry it's gone. But there's no way I could look through all those thousands of it. Was impossible. And any new threads started by those accounts. So it's all under control now. It's fine now. It's all under control. I haven't reopened registration, so I don't know whether if I do, it will start again. But for the moment, it's fine. But you can't register a new account.
Let's not do it while we're live streaming, because I feel like that's the thing you should do.
You don't think that would be? You don't think that would be like exciting drama to like stream live?
No, because I think that would just be you looking stressed and clicking a lot. Like that would be all that everyone else would see.
The thing is, the tools on these platforms and stuff are like. They're not that. It's not that stressful to deal with. You can literally deal with it in like 2 or 3 minutes. You know, it's
probably more effort to set it up.
Probably more effort to set it up. Yeah. So anyway, it is as far as I'm aware dealt with. But I'll try turning on registrations later this evening. Probably let it make sure it's died down and then see what happens. That's what happened. So
absolutely.
I don't know if that's connected to anything that's happened recently or not. Who knows?
Would it be fair to say you were quite horrified by the situation, Rash?
I was shocked.
Shocked and horrified?
Horrified. Okay. I did not see the segue coming. Okay.
They're the best segues. Well, I've got some
segue.
And the segue for the podcast listeners that can't see my lovely visual cue is Dungeons and Dragons is getting its own horrified.
I feel like I was ambushed by that segue. I think that was almost violence.
Wow.
Crossing your eyes.
I thought it would be a nice surprise, and I thought it was quite obvious, seeming as I sent you a list of the news items we were going to be talking about today. I thought I did. I apologize. I thought that was.
And I completely looked at it. Yeah.
Anyway, there's a.
Morris is an official tabletop RPG talk. By professionals for professionals.
You know, some people say they feel unappreciated at work. Anyway, so there's a board game by Ravensburger called Horrified. It's a board game series that has lots of different themes and stuff, and they are now doing a Dungeons and Dragons themed ones. So it's got iconic monsters from D&D, including the Beholder. I hope it has Strahd and things like that. So that would be fun. But yeah, so you have to defeat loads of monsters, and they have their own special conditions, and you run around collecting items. So it's that sort of board game. It's quite fun. If you played Horrified, you'll know what this is, because it's another one in the series. But yeah,
do you think I played Horrified?
So no, but I was speaking to our dear listeners.
Yeah, I mean the cover to me looks more like your traditional Hammer horror monsters, but I guess
it does, doesn't it? It does. Yeah, we've got Frankenstein, Dracula, and.
Well, I think this is a cover from one of their previous editions. In fairness, I think they haven't announced the artwork, and because it's going to be coming out in the summer, I think they've just announced that it will be happening. So I don't think this artwork is from the D&D version.
Well, it looks fun. It looks fun. Yeah. I mean, for those who are listening, as opposed to those who are watching, what we got is a castle with it looks like 4 figures in front of it. One is clearly Frankenstein. One's clearly Dracula. Who are the other 2?
Bride of Frankenstein, I believe, which is the lady with the beehive hair comb with the white streak running outside.
What a diva!
And some kind of
exactly. And I believe that might be a mummy because it looks like there's bandages wrapped around the neck.
Possibly.
That's just guess.
Yeah, I don't think this is from this isn't the artwork from the D&D version of Horrified. I don't believe this is from the Horrified range of games. So I could put up an excellent segue and shock and appall Russ.
I'm a little confused by the windmill, but I'm gonna allow it.
Windmill?
Is
Oh,
that
windmill.
not in Frankenstein where the monster hides in the windmill? Is that not the thing?
It could well be. Like, yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but I've said it on the internet, so someone will correct me if it's wrong.
Yes.
So we'll find out shortly. Don't worry.
Almost
That's the great
certainly.
thing about the internet. Someone will
do that.
Invariably.
Someone will remove you.
Yes.
I
Now
have
we can do it in real time.
Yeah, I know, which is exciting.
Excellent.
Welcome, because I live stream Not D&D every Monday now.
Yeah.
You two are welcomed in the experience. I have some other news to talk about because we're talking about, obviously, the Dungeons and Dragons monster book is coming out. At the end of last year, we had the Level Up A5E monster book coming out. And so the Tales of the Valiant monster book is now out as well. So we have so many monsters for our 5e/5e adjacent games. But yeah, it's live right now on crowdfunding. So it's the Monster Vault by Tales of the Valiant. And it just looks quite cool. I mean, they do something different with their monsters than we do in Level Up A5e, which is different from what D&D is doing. So I think it's good that there's loads of different monster books out there, so people can kind of have
there's so many now,
the flavor that they like.
Well, monsters are probably the single most plug-inable DM side kind of thing that you can use. Single most useful, because it's just, you just grab a monster, you just fling it in there. You don't have to do any work. In all of these, you don't have to do any work to convert it or do anything like that. So
exactly,
you can just use it straight as is. And pretty much in any of those games, you can use it in D&D, you can use it in A5e, you can use it in Tales of the Valiant, or and probably things like Adventures in Middle Earth and stuff like that as well, I guess.
Might be.
I'm not familiar enough with Adventures in Middle Earth.
They have different classes, but I know stuff like the free 5e stuff that's coming out. That will definitely be the case. That's based off the 2014 rule set. I expect Goodman Games' 5e will probably not be too different.
Yeah.
But
it looks cool. If you like your monster books, they've got a new feature which is monster. They're calling monster bundles. So it gathers groups of monsters that work together. And they got an encounter builder to make sure it's balanced, so you can use groups to scale for your adventure. So that's a new feature that they have in there. And they've got monster harvesting as well, which sounds a little grim. I guess like you want that eyeball to make a potion or something. But I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect from Kobold Press. So I don't have a lot to say about it, but it's live. It's doing very well.
Yeah,
I don't know to share
doing Kobold Press things. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
I expect it'll be on D&D Beyond eventually.
Probably.
Oh, is the first Tales of the Valiant one on there?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, they moved to no, it's Tome of Beasts they put on already.
That's different. So it's not Tales of the Valiant. That's anyway.
So I suppose we should briefly talk about this Evil Genius Games thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to dive into it too much because there's a legal side to it. So, but it is a news item and it's happened. So
yes,
we should mention it.
So we have done them before.
Yeah,
this is really an update to existing stories.
As people probably know, we published an article early 2024, shortly after a number of people resigned from Evil Genius Games, who make the Everyday Heroes tabletop RPG, which I'm given to understand is a very good game, from what I hear.
A solid concept.
Lots of cool people have worked on it. Lots of people that played it really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it myself personally, but just the things I've heard is a good game. But
there's no problem with the games per se.
Yeah. But it's not the game we're talking about. It's
no, not at all.
So what's happened was this was a year ago.
February 14th, 2024.
Yeah. So it's a year ago, basically.
Valentine's Day.
Yes.
I just noticed, oddly.
We received in the early hours of the morning the other night a email entitled it was entitled Legal Cease and Desist Letter to remove the defamatory content under defamation law from a Gmail account named Legal Law.
And
Legal Law
numbers.
77 specifically. Legal Law 77.
I am a little surprised that you actually opened this email, Russ.
I honestly thought it was spam. I honestly did. I had a look at it and I read the email, and it didn't largely make an awful lot of sense. It was clearly written by someone who didn't really understand the legal structures they were talking about in the email itself. They didn't specifically say they were representing Evil Genius Games.
Why are we talking about this spammy sounding piece of email that appeared in your junk mail?
Well, they threatened legal action. That's why.
That does get your attention, I must consider.
So they didn't specifically mention Evil Genius Games, or our names, or the name of our website,
or the name of the company they worked for,
or what
the name of their law firm,
what law firm they worked for, or anything like that. There was no legal header on it. Basically, it was from Legal Law 77. It looked like spam.
It looked like spam. You know, when someone on Reddit tries to write a legal document, but they're 14 and just Googling.
Yeah.
It reads very like that.
Yeah. I mean, people have hypothesized that it may be AI or it may be... But anyway,
yeah, or it could be ChatGPT.
I don't know. I literally don't know. But I Googled some of the text in it, and I found that the exact same letter had appeared multiple places across social media. Word for word, literally, from the beginning to the end. With the only difference being there's a link halfway through, which in this case was a link to my article. And in the other instances, it was a link to something else, whatever they were responding to.
I see.
So, but other than that, it was the exact same thing.
And the link was to the Rise and Fall of Evil Genius Games article.
Yeah.
That's the one that was linked.
This must be spam. It's too...
It's too silly.
So I decided I should ask Dave Scott, CEO of Evil Genius Games.
Yes.
And I forwarded it to him and said, does this person represent you? And I expected to get a reply saying, no, this has nothing to do with us.
It's just some clown.
I didn't. I got a reply saying, yes, I have recruited this lawyer. So, okay.
Well, that time I had to clasp my hands over my face because I was literally shocked because that was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So this actually was a legal threat from Evil Genius Games.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it's now been passed to our lawyers.
Right.
Obviously, once someone makes a legal threat against us, we don't engage directly with them in any way.
No,
we're going to take it respectfully and seriously.
Yeah.
If you believe you have a legal claim, of course, then that means, talk to our lawyers. Yep. But that does mean you're not going to be able to talk directly to us. So that means don't post on the EN World site. We're not going to reply to direct messages. Please, let's just talk to our lawyers if we're doing a legal thing. Yeah.
So anyway, so that happened. I will note, however, I did wake up this morning to find an email had been sent in the early hours of the morning. Again, obviously different time zones, so a lot of this stuff just doesn't happen when I'm awake. From Dave Scott saying, despite what the email says, I do not have any intention to sue you. That's pretty short. That's pretty much what it said. Not word for word, but that's pretty much what it said.
Okay.
That was the intent of the message, was to convay that wasn't his intention.
Yeah.
As best you understood it. Okay.
Yes. My thought is, well, why did you say you were going to then? I don't know. But
there are so many questions.
Yeah.
That we cannot provide you with the answers to, PJ. But this, in fairness, this isn't the first time. I mean, obviously, the article about Evil Genius Games, they obviously don't like, which is fair enough. But this isn't the first time they've tried to get the article removed.
And you see, what's been happening is it's been popping up on Reddit, and therefore popping up very high in the Google search results. And I get it. And when potential investors are Googling Evil Genius Games, the first thing they're going to see is this stuff. I get it. It's not what you want. And I was kind of thinking, this article, I've had to write an article saying this is what Evil Genius Games is now doing. That's not the article I wanted to write. What a great article to write would be, since last year, this is what Evil Genius Games is now doing, and they've turned everything around.
Got rid of AI art, stopped using any references to blockchain and said, you know what, just going to concentrate on making absolutely amazing TTRPGs, which they have a track record for.
Yeah.
It's their latest crowdfunding effort. You should support it. That is the article that I know
they've made a good role-playing game. And that fact is getting buried under all this.
I know.
Yeah, because there's some really awesome and talented people that work for Evil Genius Games that are doing really good work, and it's a shame that that's not getting seen. But the links came up on Reddit, and there was a Reddit user was also contacted by Evil Genius Games and asked to take down their Reddit post referencing the article. So there's clearly an effort to kind of bury or remove it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, that is a thing that happened this week.
A thing that happened. Also, totally unconnected, we got hit by a DDoS attack last night. Did I mention that? But
yeah.
Just thought I'd mention that as an aside.
So, I mean, it's got real shades of Mike Masnick and the Barbara Streisand effect, to be honest.
Well, yeah, that's what everyone's been saying.
Good luck with keeping it off the internet when it's on there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know what more to say. But
I mean,
if you would if people make legal threats, we will refer you to our lawyers, and we'll resolve it fairly that way.
Mike Scott did send me another email when I asked him whether or not that this person represented him. He sent me quite a long email telling me that he and his family had been getting racial and death threats.
Oh,
that's not okay.
Which is not okay.
Yeah.
It is not okay. Whoever is doing that, but I'm going to reiterate that's nothing to do with us. But it is not okay, and I really, really, really hope that stops.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people who are just looking for any excuse to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Just to be clear, if you do any of that kind of harassment or abuse or racial abuse or anything of that ilk on EM World in the terms and conditions, you're gone. We don't want that there. So that won't happen on the site.
No matter how much you disagree with somebody.
Yeah, and there's never any reason to be like that. So that's not a cool thing to do. There's no.
I mean, basically, if you issue a death threat, there is literally no justification for it.
No, absolutely. Like it's just like no reason for this at all, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I do like the firm stand against bigotry.
But I do reject the premise that the response to this is to blame it on journalists who have accurately reported events a year ago. You know, don't shoot the messenger.
And like, I don't know, Dave Scott, I'm sure you're listening. Make better games. Get rid of the Web 3.0 stuff. We'd love to report it and give you a good shout and boost out.
And I'm really, really, really sorry to hear that. These threats are going on, because that's appalling. It's horrible.
Yeah, it is appalling. It's not right.
No. Well, that's the thing that happened. So we needed to mention it, but now let's move on and talk about other things. Do we have some cool stuff to talk about? PJ, do you have some cool stuff to talk about?
I do have some cool stuff to talk about. So the Games and Gaming Roundtable is an organization which recognizes certain print productions for doing extremely well and being really valuable. And the Hatchling Games Inspirals, which listeners will recall has been a game that was going to teach you how to use sign language, has been recognized as a platinum play. So an evergreen title well suited to library programs and collections.
Yeah, nice.
That's, as I say, from Hatchling Games, and well done to them.
Yeah, and just to be clear, the game teaches you British Sign Language and American Sign Language, so it has both alternatives. So whichever country you're in that is the sign language people use there, it has those two available. It looks like a really fun game. They were on an episode of Not D&D a while back if people want a deeper dive into it, but that's really cool that they got an award. Good for them.
That's
right, what else have we got?
Speaking of awards, you want to segue into the ENnie Awards?
Let's do that then. Okay.
So
to be clear, ENnie Awards, Russ did start a long time ago, but Ian World is no longer managing.
I've not been involved with any awards since 2018. No.
Just to clarify, because sometimes people still think that we are, and I just want to clarify that.
Yeah. People often
all the
think
good work
I
that
am,
ENnie
but no.
does.
Yeah.
It's like
Isn't
7
us.
years ago now.
Yes.
Mm.
So you can make submissions to 2025 awards now. I was unclear when it opened. I believe it was recently.
About 2 weeks ago.
There we go. Thank you, PJ. And I think it's open to voting into March. Am I correct?
I will have a look at the submission form, which I have open in front of me, and it does
doesn't say
not
the
have
deadline.
does not have a closing deadline on it.
Anyway, okay, fine.
Never mind.
Awards are open, so you can enter for the ENnie Awards, which is a piece of news in itself, and you can
Yeah.
nominate other people. So if there's
Yes.
TTRPG creators or podcasters or anything like that in the TTRPG space that you would like to nominate, you can. And if you yourself are a creator, you can also do that for games. And there's all the
Also, you say
categories
just
there. You can have a look at.
hint.
No,
about-
I wouldn't say such a thing. Anyway, something
yeah.
caught people on the internet talk about things because that's what they like to do.
true.
And the ENnie Award has a stance on AI generated content in the award submissions, and some people have been talking about that. So I thought I would present on the podcast what their stance is, and maybe we could have a chat about it briefly.
Yeah. So their stance is that they do accept content, AI generated content.
Yes.
But it has to be declared, but they do accept it.
Yeah, so they're excluded from certain categories. So, for example, if you have AI generated art, you cannot be put forward for best art for an RPG. But yeah, so they do have. There's more terms and conditions, and we've got that on the screen, and also on the link to ENnie's website. You can read it for yourself. They have said that this is an honor system because they're counting on people declaring it, because with a lot of AI things, not everyone is able to identify what is and what isn't. So I think they're clear they don't want it to become a witch hunt, because I see that online sometimes. I think we had it for one of our games, and I was like, no, here's the artist and here's the early draft sketches. This is
and it's got to the point where people will spot an imperfection in an image and decide that means it must be AI, when artists
an imperfection is what's
imperfections
human.
Because it's art. You know, humans make human made stuff has imperfections as well. That is not proof that something's AI.
Yes.
Indeed.
But anyway, but yeah, so I don't know. What are our kind of thoughts?
Also, the actual thing is they'll accept a product that contains AI stuff, but the AI stuff itself cannot win an award. So if you have a book which was written by a human but had AI art, the writing, they could get an award for the writing, but not for the art. Or if you had a book that had an AI art cover and human-made interior art, you can get an award for the interior art, but not for the cover art category. So that's basically how it works, as I understand it.
Yeah, that's right. What are your thoughts?
I'm glad that they're not giving awards for AI content.
Yeah, to a robot or something.
Yeah. What are my thoughts? It's not the choice I would have made. But I don't run the ENnies anymore. But
neither do I.
I would prefer it if. I would prefer it if they just said no to AI generate. LLM AI generated content is my preference. Just saying.
Yeah, like generative AI.
Yeah,
generative.
If you've got some red eye correction, or I don't know, like I guess like spell checking and stuff. That's technically machine learning.
Yeah, I know, and there's a lot of conflation with this stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of conflation. There are valid uses for this.
There's valid uses for machine learning. There is a lot of people who are selling this stuff, and honestly, in academic blue sky, it's been quite a thing lately. Which where there's been a little posting around saying, be aware that sometimes it will hallucinate some very convincing sounding material, so you must always check the work that it produces for you. And there's been a bit of a credulity and credibility gap going on amongst that. But Russ, you'll be delighted to hear that you're sharing an opinion with such creators as John Harper from Blaze and Dark, Cam Banks, who's worked on the Cypher system. I mean, and for what it's worth, me too, which is like the correct amount of AI in your RPG product is the same as the correct amount of AI in your Lunchables. Correct amount of lead in your Lunchables, which is 0. You should
And
have
AI in your
0
Lunchables,
lead
quite
in
frankly.
your sandwiches.
Yeah.
And 0 lead in your TTRPGs. No detectable lead in TTRPGs.
Mhm.
I think we'll agree on that as well.
Yeah, I'll agree on that too.
But yeah, it's just like, it just makes a mockery of the whole thing. And I feel it's really, really damaging for the credibility of the ENnies, not just the current set, but also the past set as well. Because once you've ruined your credibility, it's like then most people aren't big nerds about TTRPGs like the people on this podcast. Sorry, Jessica, one of us now. You know how it is. But, you know, it's just like people are not going to notice. They're just going to say, oh, ENnies, isn't that the thing that lets AI stuff do it? Because that's just how it works. And then no ENnies are valid. They're not going to remember, it's pre-2024 ENnies. It's just going to be like,
I am hopeful that maybe this will change maybe next year. But
Yeah.
I have no insight whatsoever. I don't know. I
don't know if my opinion is as far as PJ's. Like, I see the point, and yes, I think it's good that they've taken a stance and made a statement about that it's definitely not allowed in those categories. Those things are good.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah,
It's interesting to see how our industry changes and evolves with the presence of generative AI, and how people are reacting to it. Like, for me, as we stated before, I just don't know enough about it to know that it's ethical and correct. So I just don't use it because I don't, I can't do my due diligence enough to be able to say this is okay. And I wonder how many people that create products with that are knowledgeable enough to be able to say that. That's my kind of concern. So my concern comes from a place of ignorance on my part because I don't know enough about it, but I wonder if everybody using it does as well. Those are my thoughts.
Well, of course, a large number of the public just don't care one way or the other. It's
but a lot of people don't care about a lot of wild things. Look at the news outside of TTRPG this week.
Yeah, sure.
And that's all we'll discuss of it.
Nothing has happened outside of TTRPG this week, I'm sure.
According to our reporter Daryl Mott, in an informal conversation, the amount of self-flagged AI stuff has really dropped on Drive for RPG. Because people are evidently filtering it out, or there's at least a perception that they're going to filter it out. So yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Okay.
The
other explanation for that is that people just aren't correctly flagging
declaring
their stuff.
It. Like, yeah, this is me. I did this.
He reckons it's about 1 in 20 that look a bit sus. And again, this is just informal conversation, but yeah, it's Daryl's still out there keeping an eye on stuff. So yeah, thought I'd give him a shout out because it's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, my hope is that next year. I support the the statement that actual AI can't win an award in itself for that bit of the content, but I hope they will go further with it next year. It's my hope. But.
Do you think the Diana Jones Award could be given to generative AI the concept of generative AI content in TTRPGs?
Wow.
Would they be eligible?
I'm
sorry, PJ. I just that was like clickbait rage bait made specifically for PJ. That was like tailor made.
That was beautiful stuff.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
good job.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Anyway, so like I say, I'm not against people who change their minds. Who say, oh, I was using AI, and then you know what? I was like, I looked at it, I thought, actually, no, it's not for me. And they change their minds. And that's okay. People change the behavior. I'm all right with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you keep on using it, I'm not okay with that. If you change behavior, I'm like, oh, yeah, good job. In fact, I'm probably a bit more enthusiastic. How about that?
And it's kind of a shame because this LLM stuff and this generative scrapey AI stuff does get kind of conflated just into AI in general, and there are sort of like AI is very good at spotting cancer and things like that, and valid uses like that.
Yeah, that's great.
No, absolutely. There's still problems with it, but on the whole, when we're just using AI for what it's meant for, which is specific use cases, it's okay. If you want the most statistically likely set of words. LLMs, they're where it's at. It's just they're not a research assistant, you know?
Yeah.
But I want to tell you.
Well, do you know what doesn't use AI generated content?
I know quite a lot of things that don't use AI generated content.
Okay.
Like
Do you know the specific thing I'm trying to segue into?
Trees do not use
That is
AI
correct.
generated content.
But also, Paranormal Powers for 5e and A5e, the ESSA class, does not use AI content. There's my loose segue.
Your segues. Your segues are good. Reachia.
Anyway, Peter, do you want to talk about this a bit more as somebody who creates kind of products for A5e and in the third space?
I mean, I will declare an interest. Steam Plunkett, who is the creator of this, is someone that I consider a friend. So yeah, I am horribly biased.
Okay.
But also, they produce mad good work.
Yeah.
So you know, there is that. Essentially, what this is it's like a fairly decent sized book, which I have on my shelves, and I'm tempted to leap over and see if I can grab it. But I don't know if I can get to it past a pile of boxes in front of it.
And suddenly we hear this massive crash.
Yeah, basically. But what is it? It's like a fairly good size hardback. It's full of psychic options, psionics. It's got the Esper class in it, psionic powers, and various different archetypes.
This came out like 2 years ago, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
do you want to? Shall I?
You go ahead.
It's currently on Pay What You Want for PDF, which is a price drop of potentially infinity if you are disinclined to pay for it. I mean, you can always go back and pay for it. I've certainly found it worthwhile having a look at, and there are some really, it's a really different take, because I'll say that for Steam Plunkett, like not always the easiest to balance her stuff, but it's never boring.
Okay.
It's like and this is no exception. Definitely fun and much shorter as a class than many other attempts that have gone out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was nice that it was being offered for free. So the idea is you can download it, take a look, and the idea is that you can have tips if you want. So if you're obviously in a place of hardship where you can't do that, cool, you can still have this. But if you download it and like it, there's the option to pay suggested price tips.
Psionics for 5e and A5e.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And one of the things, some of the comments that have come out are things like they do feel very different from spells, which is what we're looking for, but is very hard to achieve. So it's a whole book, which could potentially be for maybe just one player, but bit of creative world building, you could get going. I think there's also a selection of monsters inside, which are also quite exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Monsters.
Yes.
Another level up thing as well. The Gate Pass Gazette annual is live on BackerKit currently.
When does that end? How long's it got left?
Oh, I don't know things.
You brought it up.
I know. I wasn't prepared though. I just thought I should.
You weren't prepared for questions.
No, 13 days left. So 6th of February. Because I thought we put it there so that it was after people's payday. Because January sometimes after the holidays people don't have money because they've spent it on fun and frivolity. But yeah, so we're running that on BackerKit. This is our first time using BackerKit because we're kind of trying it out. It's going quite well. We have a stretch goal of if we can get 300 hardcovers across, add-ons, pledges, blah blah blah. We'll upgrade everything to an offset print run.
So right on the verge of hitting, I believe, aren't we?
We're at like 90%, so we need like 7 more people to
that's almost certainly going to happen.
So it's going to be an offset print run with ribbon bookmarks and all the stuff you'd expect. But we're trying out BackerKit, and it's
Oh, you know what arrived today?
What
Finally,
today?
my copy of the Planestrider's Journal. I'm not the last person to get it. All I did was publish a thing. Why should I have a copy? But
it is at the warehouse. You could pick it for yourself whenever you want. Just saying, you know where they're stored.
Well,
and you didn't actually back the Kickstarter, in fairness.
I did not back the Kickstarter, no, because you can't back your own Kickstarter.
I know that was me being facetious.
But I did get my both my regular and limited edition collector's edition copy.
Yes,
Very
nice.
nice.
Well,
So
we
I'm very pleased to
will.
have that.
We will probably be getting that to retail soon. Now that because definitely I think most of the crowdfunding backers had it last year, so we'll probably get that on retail soon.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's other stuff going on in the A5e sphere as well. So I'm going to tag in PJ at this point again.
Oh, well, today has been a day of truly spectacular and extraordinary ups and downs for me. Jessica, first slide, please.
I have never seen that before. That is so surprising and shocking. Yeah, did I do that right? Did I do that okay?
Yeah, it's perfect, Russ. No, that no one will know the difference.
Reaction delivered as promised.
For those at home, what we are looking at, what has led to the screaming happiness, is it's a cover reveal. Obviously, the perfect medium for this, I decided, was a podcast most people listen to. I will be plastering this all over social media. Don't you worry about that. But what is it? It's crafting heritages, cultures, and more world building, and it has a cover which I blush to say how much I paid for, but currently it's in sort of like it's not grayscale, but like there's colors to help get the toning right. So that's why it looks a bit brown and slightly orange. And yeah, it's got like it's a book cover. It's got my little logo on the back. I took the liberty of getting the various nice things that people have said about my book and putting it onto the back.
It does look nice. Well. Who is the artist?
A chap called Juan Ochoa, who lives in Colombia, and who I approached because I liked his stuff on Blue Sky and Mastodon. I was like,
I like it also. It's a very nice cover.
Yeah,
it's like a bustling street bazaar with a range of different fantasy folks in. Like it looks like there's a minotaur and a lizard folk and a human, a dwarf, minotaur. And like it's just a bustle of different people, which I think is a mix of heritages and cultures.
Yes, and you can see there's like it's basically I wanted something a bit like a Pratchett cover, where there's like lots of different things going on, but maybe not in exactly Kirby and Kidby inspired rather than actual the same style. But yeah, and like you got like there's like little stories that you can follow around as you look on, and yes, precisely, it's like to have all the heritages and cultures going on, and yeah,
nice.
I'm already delighted by it.
On the front cover there, I can see the level up logo. What are the two ones above it? It's too teeny for me to see on this image.
Yeah. Jessica's doing the best with the screenshot that I could send via Discord. What they are, there's the 5e 2014 compatibility logo and the 5e 2024 compatibility.
Oh, I see. Logo. Okay, yeah.
Yes, which were designed by Arms, who is an excellent designer. There's a lot of stuff going into this book, which is from contacts I've made through Discords and being online. So it's just really has increased. And also, Jessica, did you get that other file I sent?
A map?
Yes. I don't know if that's made it on.
Ta-da!
Yes, I don't know if you can see, Russ, but right in the middle there, it says New Forest.
Ah.
And
that's the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
that's just the map of the South Coast.
Yeah. Well, it's it's a map of two South Coasts. In fact, it's a conglomeration of Southampton and Cork. Which is an island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I see my house?
Yeah. If you far enough.
There's a little signpost on the right that says Southampton and like 5 houses.
Yeah.
Again, due to Discord, working with Jog Broxton, who has a Patreon, and he makes maps and likes getting them out there and letting people use them. And I find maps deeply inspiring. Like, give me a good map. And that gets a lot of stuff going. So with his permission, working with him, he has a variety of world maps. And just literally today, I've agreed with him, they are going to be appearing in the back of Crafting Heritages and Cultures.
Wow,
nice.
But this was a sample map. I don't know if I'd use this one. This was actually commissioned as a wedding present.
But that's also got a modern yacht on it as well.
It does have a little cruise ship, a little modern yacht on it.
Oh, nice.
But it's basically because one of the chaps was someone got married. One was from Southampton, one was from Cork. So it's got like little various things, like this little Greek temple because they first met in a Greek restaurant, and all sorts of little things which don't mean anything to anyone. But they kindly permitted us to use it. I saw it. I thought, I know someone from the New Forest who might really like seeing New Forest at the centre of the world.
I do like the New Forest. I love the New Forest. It's one of my favourite.
Well, that's great. It's exciting when you get artwork through from a book. When you're publishing and making a book, the artwork coming through makes it feel like a real thing. It's like, it's going to be a book that people hold in their hands.
Yeah. I always wanted to do a campaign setting just like based on the British Isles. I know it's been done many times before, but literally just based on the actual like towns that I know, and
Well, I have run to Save a Kingdom, Russ. I've seen the map of Elisar and I recognise the names. Yes.
That's just a couple of name drops, though. I mean, literally the map and everything exactly the same. Yeah, there are some name drops in that. Yeah, of course. Like my dad's house is on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm very delighted about it. It's part of this concept that I floated previously, where you get a couple of micro creators and they work together to cross promote stuff. So if you're a fan of my stuff, I believe you will probably like Job Grobson's work. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's got the sort of things I like. I've also got work from Fernando Salvaterra, who does amazing cartography maps. I didn't ask him for maps because I can't afford him. He's too good and too in demand. But I also have some of the stuff he produces from his Patreon, which has those delightful little mice.
I could draw some maps for you if you like.
Oh, thank you, Russ. That's very generous of you. You have quality standards at home, I'm sure you'll have no difficulty meeting those.
Okay, let's move on.
Look, I've got my crayons.
Good for you.
Okay. Wow.
I want to talk about aliens.
Aliens? Let's talk about aliens.
Aliens. So the Alien second edition Kickstarter date has now been announced because we knew it was delayed.
Oh, what date is it?
The actual final announced March the 25th.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
just in time for my birthday.
Exciting. The previous one is actually 5 years old.
Yeah,
I thought it was more recent than that. It feels like it was like a year or two ago, but it's only 5 years ago. Yeah,
I've had my starter set and needed to play it for ages, and it looks really good, but I just haven't sorted my life out to get a table and run it.
Well, if you find yourself, taking a break from your Wednesday night Baldur's Gate, I realise that's never going to happen. I think you have a whole club of people who would be delighted for you to come and run some for them.
I mean, I would, but for my prior commitments in the Sword Coast, like I say, we've been playing on the Baldur's Gate 3 cocktail hour, because of course that's what I call it. We've been playing for 2 years and we're just in Act 3 now, so I think we're going to be in another couple of years, if I'm honest.
We'll be there waiting.
Exactly. No, not quite 2 years. Over a year and a half. I think it's a year and a half.
Yeah.
A long time, nevertheless. And you'll be excited to see the three of us playing Baldur's Gate at some point, because Russ has agreed that we'll do a live stream play. So when we arrange ourselves for that, we will let you know.
Love it.
And you too can witness the beauty that is Russ.
And before we somehow got interrupted with a talk about Baldur's Gate 3 yet again.
That's what I do. It's why I'm here.
Talking about Alien.
Fine. What about Alien Second Edition?
Yeah, Russ.
Yeah. I was just going to say, what was in it? What was in Alien Second Edition?
What is in Alien Second Edition?
I mean, if you want to know, or you can just talk about Baldur's Gate 3 some more if you want.
Happily. But I think the listeners have had enough of that. So,
so what we have is we've got a new core rulebook, totally new layout and artwork, totally brand new core rulebook. They've revised is the word I was reaching for there, and expanded the rules for talent, stress, and panic. Interested in seeing that because I like the stress and panic rules.
I wonder what they're doing.
Well, they did. I mean, in the original, they've got this. It's kind of. It's not quite viral, but you can sort of catch as you get stressed. People near you can get, and I like the way it works.
That happens in real life.
It happens in real life.
It's contagious. Yeah.
We've got new rules for armor, ammo, grenades, stuns, skirmishes, and spaceships.
Nice.
Those are all cool things.
Weapons, items, ships, and locations from Alien Romulus. which is now free on Disney Plus. Disney Plus, I believe. Disney Plus. For those who didn't catch it in the cinema.
I actually didn't watch it in the cinema, so I might.
If you've got Disney Plus, it's there.
Is it good?
It's got aliens in it.
Cool.
It's got things that go in it.
Facehuggers, yes.
Facehuggers.
Yes.
For those who weren't watching, I just did a facehuggy thing with my hand. It was amazing.
A very cheap Halloween prop.
I was in the National Youth Theatre, you know.
That's not true.
No, that's
No,
not true.
They don't accept everyone, Russ.
Might be true at some point.
It's not.
What else have we got? We got new rules for zero gravity, miniature rules, and extended campaign play.
Oh, nice.
And finally, we got a solo mode called Last Survivor.
Yeah, it does sound very cool. Not sure I'm in the mood for gritty dystopian horror at the moment.
It's not cheerful.
Why not, PJ?
It's not cheerful.
No, don't answer. Don't answer.
I won't.
Yeah, don't answer. We know why.
The other day, it was great. It was like, oh.
I mean, it sounds great. I'm probably not going to pick it up because I still haven't run my first edition one, and so I think I want to use that first because then I can justify buying a second edition to myself.
Yeah. I'll be backing it. I'm pretty sure I'll back it.
Oh, great!
I'm trying so hard not to back things on Kickstarter at the moment because I worked out how much and also the rate of getting stuff and actually playing it is far too low.
This is the thing. I have a budget myself each month for spending on stuff. So, and my phone has an alert if I reach it. It goes, Jess.
It tells you off.
Yeah. I've instructed it to do that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because I need to be told. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
right. What other news do we have?
Do you know, I don't have any other news, really.
Did we mention the miniatures last week?
Glow in the dark miniatures?
No, the new ones from WizKids, which are based on the 2025 Monster Manual.
No, I'm not.
Not the glow. We mentioned the
44 of them, I think.
No, that was the glow in dark ones last week.
Oh, in which case, no. Tell us more.
So
tell me more.
These
I don't have a picture, but I trust you.
Monster Collection 1, Monster Manual Collection 1. This has 47 miniatures based on the artwork found in the new Monster Manual. We've got things including, but not limited to, nightmares, now Feshni, Ghats, helmed horrors, black puddings, cultists, lizard folk, death dogs, firemen, and other stuff. I'm not going to read that entire list. No release date set, but there we go. You found it.
I've got some pictures on the live stream.
We've got some pictures there. Yeah. So what we got a dragon. We got a succubus. We got a blobby thing. another dragon. A demon. A nightmare.
A horse on fire.
I guess a dragonborn. A tiefling. And some more. There's lots and lots.
But yeah, they look. Are they painted? Did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I might actually be interested then because I
pre-painted plastic.
Cannot be bothered to paint things.
No, me too.
Well, they look quite cool.
This is the black pudding.
The black pudding. That's not
blob.
what black pudding looks like. That looks more like ink. Black pudding has oats
black
in.
pudding. I don't understand it.
I love black pudding. You don't need to understand something to love it.
I neither understand it nor love it.
Well.
All listeners familiar, black pudding is not sweet. It is made of blood.
Oh yeah, US listeners might not know. Is that not a thing? So you have it with your breakfast. It's a savoury dish. It's pretty much it's very not vegetarian or vegan. So
I don't have it with my breakfast.
No, it's basically cooked blood and offal mixed with oats, and it's like rolled into a sausage shape, and then you have it sliced and fried, and it tastes as good as it sounds.
It's horrible.
I do have a mild amusing story, which is I was visiting someone like when I was much younger, and I couldn't remember the difference between black pudding and Yorkshire pudding. So they specifically
they're very, very, very different.
They are. My reaction when I was given this weird black round thing was not what was expected.
Hmm.
I just wanted some Yorkshire puddings.
What meal was this with?
It was like what I wanted to eat.
I just can't think of what meal a black pudding and a Yorkshire pudding would both be appropriate for.
A pub.
This was like just cooking at home. I think it was like for dinner or something. So
Right.
yeah, I was like, I was just like, I was pretty young, so like, yeah, I don't. But I was visiting relatives without my parents. I was about 14 or 15 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was not a great experience.
No, doesn't sound like it.
I mean,
my reaction was pretty much as though
I would not like to be ambushed by black pudding.
Yeah, like which looks like it's coming out of the floor at you in like this amorphous blob.
Yeah.
There was definite recoil and horror on my part, I assure you.
Well, fair enough. If you would like a black pudding miniature, WizKids has got you covered, is the summary for that.
That's quite good.
Yeah. Okay. That is all the news I have this week, I think. I think we may be done for this
pretty
week.
much done, yeah.
Okay. So we'll be back next week. We'll be live streaming at 2 p.m. British Standard Time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and listening to whoever you listen to your podcasts, because that is your choice.
I guess what we should start doing also is putting an actual link to where you can watch it live in the show notes. I'll remember to do that this week.
Okay, 10 out of 10.
If you want to know where it is, just look in the show notes and it'll be there. Wherever you get your podcast from or whatever.
And just remind people, I will sadly not be here. I will instead be playing about 12 hours of role-playing games on Friday in my bid to play 50 hours or so of role-playing games at Contingency. I'm looking forward to it.
That's too much gaming.
I would have loved to be there. It's a really great. I used to go when it was down south. It's a UK role playing game convention for those that don't know. It's a really great event. It's always had good vibes and play loads of games. But yeah, have a great time, PJ. We'll cover the news for you while you're away and let you know what happened upon your return.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. But for now, should we say goodbye?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
Right. See you all next week. Bye.
All the tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG.